And we are back once again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers, Frankly Football. I'm Brandon.
Hey, man, I'm setting it off Chris, man. How y'all doing out there, man?
I don't know about them, Chris, but after that loss, I can't say that I'm doing too great. The Dallas Cowboys fell 1-3 after losing to the Cleveland Browns.
Right. So I think the last time we got together, we were really excited to play the Browns because, I mean, they were Cleveland. And we figured, man, this will kind of be an easy win. We get in there, get our footing back, get to 2-2. And then right around 2 o'clock, we realized these weren't the same old Browns. This was a different football team. And it's a lot to see. Let's deal with both sides of the ball. Offensively, what do you think our biggest issue was offensively?
The offensive line, man. They started off trying to work on the Terrence Steele experiment again before giving it up. And I'm really glad that once again the coach had the balls to make that change. But it's one of those situations as to why do you put him out there in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Why do you try that experiment in the first place?
I think – go ahead. Keep going.
That is one of those things that helped Myles Garrett be Myles Garrett. Working against Terrence Aluminum, Terrence Rust, Terrence Linoleum, Terrence Plastic. Whatever
you want to put, huh?
Metal or material you want to go with, that's what helps him look like that guy when you choose to put him up against premier edge rushers who are going to take advantage of him. Because you know that the Cleveland Browns coaches looked and said, hey, if we get number so-and-so on that edge, Garrett, you go out there and you do work. And that's exactly what they did before they made the switch. And I'm like I said, I'm really glad that they did. But you really want to hope that the coaches get over that little bit of pride might be a good word. And
that's arrogance. That is something that we saw a lot with the last regime and with people putting guys out there. But I think this situation is different because your left tackle, I've been trying to rack my brain why you would even play Terrence Steele. You know, you did a lot of study on him when you were looking at the draft and him being very bad at the Senior Bowl. I mean, he ended up helping get Bradley Anae drafted from the Senior Bowl. But I think because you were worried about what your left tackle was going to be able to do, and so you were worried about if he was going to be able to go. And when you found out that the first series, you said, okay, let's see how Tyron does in the first series. If Tyron can't go in the first series, we bring Brandon Knight in. Well, in that first series, Myles Garrett got a sack and blew up the whole series. Okay. Then you come back the next series, you get a little progress, score a touchdown. You're like, okay, maybe we can quick game Myles Garrett out of the game. You know, a lot of quick passes, turn around and get, screens, get him good enough field, bootlegs behind him. So you thought he was going to be able to do that. And now you think you can kind of work with Terrence. Because if you can get the ball out fast, Terrence is good. Like, snap, get it out. Snap, 1, 2, get it out. And that's what they were doing. It got bad because you turned around and tried to do a long developing route with Terrence Paper, Terrence Turnstile, as I call him. And
perfect.
And Myles Garrett would give any premier tackle in the NFL trouble. Yeah. He's going to give Terrence a whipping.
He's going to give him
nightmare. That's what he got. And that he gave him what ends up happening because he did it and ended up getting a turnover. That's what the problem is. I think the biggest problem with our offense is that we put our defense, which is right now we're going to go into not trusting the process in position far too many times where they aren't able to stop the other team. I had a guy who I kick it with on a regular basis I ain't gonna call his name and put him out there, said we were devoid of talent. I don't believe that. I don't believe that part.
I want you to give details. I want you to give details.
I'm pretty sure he will. But what ends up happening, I truly believe that the offense is putting the ball on the ground too much. I think the offense is turning the ball over. 100%. We have had multiple turnovers in the last 3 games.
Absolutely.
And so
and here's the great thing about that. Here's the great thing about that. Turnovers is a fixable stat.
Absolutely.
I think that life is about issues and problems. And this is philosophical B here.
Oh.
This makes a rare occurrence of him. Life is about issues and problems. An issue is your phone about to die. A problem is you ain't got a charger. I feel like, you see what I'm saying? So an issue is the offense turns over the ball too much. That can be fixed with, correct coaching tactics, because as we say around here, coaching matters.
Coaching matters, baby. Coaching matters right here.
Now, that being said, there are some issues on this team and there are also some problems on this team. I think that turnovers is just an issue. It can be corrected. We'll talk about some of the other problems that we saw as a team, a little bit further along in the video, but I still want to stick on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
You saw another situation where people talked about the running game not being able to get going. It's really hard to give your running game a chance when you are constantly coming from behind the entire game, and that goes with every single game this season. What do you think about those people who have issues with the run game right now?
I think the running game is a byproduct of the passing game. I think what we turn around doing now, where it used to be where we would run to set up the pass, I think we pass now to set up the run because of the dynamic people we have on the outside and because of our deficiencies we have in the offensive line. It takes them time to get running, get going. Like I said, Zeke had pulled off, I think, like a 26-yard run, and then he put the ball on the ground, but it looked like he was about to get cranking, get started. So I think that with that happening and you turn around and give score after score after score after score, you're down by 20-some-odd points. It does take the ball out of his hands. It takes the opportunities for Tony Pollard as well as Zeke to get the ball and do work. So, yeah,
I'm going to interrupt you right quick. Tony got other problems, man. Tony got other problems, and that's why and he's in the doghouse right now. I'll be real with you. That's why he's not getting too much work. Tony got problems, and these are, I will say, Tony has issues because these are lapses in judgment that you wouldn't see from a seasoned veteran. Tony has issues, and I used the word incorrectly. I said problems. Tony got issues that's keeping him in the doghouse.
Okay, so you're going to take the fact of the matter that Tony has helped lead to having the worst starting field position or in the bottom third of field position in football, whereas most teams are starting around, I want to say, the 26, 27-yard line, and we're averaging starting around the 21 to the 23-yard line, which makes us longer fields, makes you have to call the game different, things of that nature. And he's like, hey, I just want to go make a play. Or they're kicking it short enough to think, hey, maybe I can make a play. So you would rather what? They kick it out, they let them kick it out the end zone and not try to return it? And just start at 25?
I'm not sure, but I can tell you one thing. You saw as the game went on, Tony lost his job at that. They started putting Cedric Wilson back there. So I'm not sure what that answer is, but his actions, his lapses in judgment is costing himself playing time. And Cedric Wilson is going around and being the benefactor of that because he is doing his best to make the most of those opportunities. He's putting together a collection of film on the offense, but then he is taking on those extra duties in special teams. And that's just going to increase a guy's paycheck when it comes time for him to get paid.
Yeah, but I think everybody has a Cedric Wilson on their team. I think everybody in the NFL has got a Cedric Wilson. I think Cedric is the safe option to put, to do that with. But I think Tony's trying to just make a name for himself, and which is hard because, he's a third-round pick. Everybody's looking for him to do something special. He gets opportunity with Bones. Fossil, which is special teams coordinator. Let's go make a play. So you got to go back to the head coach who's trying to run an up-tempo team, up-tempo offense, be the kind of team that takes a lot of challenges, and that's what you end up getting. So, yeah, that's another little tidbit on the special teams that, you have to kind of look at. But like you said, it's an issue. It's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a problem.
And I think that issue that you're encountering is something that you're going to see all over the team. And it has a name, hero ball.
Yes, absolutely. And that leads us right into our problematic thing that most people think we have, our defense.
Absolutely.
And our defense is predicated on a couple of different things. But the first thing, well, of all things, one, what they haven't had for the last 10 years, in my opinion, definitely not the last 3 to 4 with Coach Marinelli and Coach Richard, is that coaching matters. Absolutely. I think what ends up happening, we as Cowboy fans want to have this swarming, attacking type defense where the down linemen are all over the place and just making plays and going like that. Whereas this defense is based on a kind of a hybrid where the linebackers make a lot of plays and the defensive tackles kind of hold, adjust, and read and make plays. Shout out to Okoye and Okoye Media who put out a great film study on what Dontario Poe is supposed to be doing and what the other guys are supposed to be doing, but they're not, right?
Yes.
I believe it's easy for a lot of fans to not like certain players because they just choose not to like them. I'll be the first to admit I was never a Brady James fan. Brady James always reminded me of the dude who wanted to stand up in the class after the science project and take credit for the damn science project, and he ain't do a damn thing. So, he ended up in his career having a lot of tackles, but he was just a guy to me.
Yeah.
I think the
Cowboys, right place, right
time
guy.
Huh?
He was right place, right time guy.
Man, he sucked as far as I was concerned. I think the Cowboys knew whipping boy because after Brady James and time went on, then it came the GOAT, and everybody wanted to down. Hey, don't you dare. Because here's what you will not have to worry about. If the GOAT, a.k.a. Jeff Heath, was here.
Oh, boy.
You wouldn't have these lapses in knowing where to be, knowing where to line up. Tyler Lockett, nor DK Metcalf are running wide open and wide free. The GOAT would be right on it.
Here we go. I guess we're doing
I think what they're doing, my friend, I don't think they're trusting the process. I think
no, not at all.
If I can't go make a play or make a dynamic play to get everybody cheering me, I don't want to do it. So when they were in training camp and they were busting up fields and doing stuff like that and getting the Dak, they figured that's what we have to do. But if you keep discipline and maintain your gaps and do what you're supposed to do and do your damn job today, the defense will be a lot better. Because let's be honest, Mike Nolan has never in his career coached a top 10 defense.
Correct.
Right.
He had a New Orleans defense that was pretty stout. So that stout to me is like if you're drinking a beer. Stout to me is short, vertically challenged people, because we can't call them that other name. That's just impolitically correct. We don't want to get defranchised. But stout to me means pretty much middle of the pack. And let's be honest, if my defense gets the middle of the pack, maybe 18, 19-ish range, guess what I can do? Make a playoff run. I told you yesterday, if you give me a 20th ranked defense, 18th to 20th, I could see them making it to a championship game.
Yeah, I can make NFC championship.
Absolutely.
You give me top
with the 18th to 20th ranked defense. Yeah, you give me top 15, and I think we'll steamroll anybody in this league.
I think I win the Super Bowl.
Now, here's the thing. I think that this defense is still going through a lot of pains. You have guys, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about them now, Jalen Smith. You have guys like him who have every bone in their body wants to make the play, but their body will not allow them to do the things that they want to do. And you got to see a little bit of that on the last Brown scoring play of the game when Odell Beckham, had the end around and score. Jalen Smith having to move laterally wasn't able to do it. He wanted to. You could see the want to, the effort, because that's the organization's buzzword this week is effort. You could see the effort there, but man can't live on bread alone.
No, he can't, but he can live out everything precedes. And so I think with him being the middle linebacker, it hurts him because he needs to be in a position where he's in an attacking mode. Yes. And him in the middle of the field, I don't know what it is if he can't see or he's not understanding how to diagnose or attack. But on a lot of film that we saw, where if the defensive end sets the edge, it's supposed to funnel back towards the middle where he can make plays. And Jalen was hopping into every chance to get blocked by somebody instead of hitting somebody. And that's my problem. But the thing about when he does make a play, he's flexing, he's swiping, and a lot of Cowboys fans are like, yo, man, why are you doing it? You just got ran over, But that's how it is, man. That's truly how it is. So I think the defense needs to trust the process.
Mm-hmm. And they need to trust each other. They need to trust each other. We spoke a little bit on hero ball. Jalen is one of the biggest doers of that. I couldn't think of the word. English is bad for me. Jalen does that a lot. But I don't think a lot of these players on defense really have full trust in each other, because if you did, why would you overextend yourself or put yourself out of position trying to make the play instead of doing what you're supposed to do and allowing the other guy behind you to do what they were supposed to do?
I mean, you want to do that when you trust the team and you trust the process. But the process is, let's say, 6 weeks of putting it in. Anytime you've worked a job, if somebody tries to implement a new process, the initial thing that most people are going to do is what? Reject it.
Yes.
They're like, oh, this is stupid. We shouldn't do this. Oh, man. I mean, you think about everything that you've ever dealt with. Oh, man, whatever it is, they said the next thing coming was stupid. Mm-hmm. And so you've got a team that for a while was middle of the road, pretty decent. Now they're coming to the point, first couple of games, they find out they can get passed on. Last game against the Browns, they found out they can get run on. And so now they got to go back and find their own identity and figure out what kind of business they are and come forward and make things happen the way they should. That's definitely important.
Yeah. Absolutely. So obviously we saw other situations after the game where certain guys, particularly one Xavier Woods, thought it wise to say that it's impossible and unfair to expect a player to give their all for the entire game.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need to put – I put it to you like this. I say this all the times. Alcoholics don't need to go to the liquor store to buy gum.
Yeah.
I say that. Some people you don't ask questions because their answers are so idiotic that it makes them look bad. That's Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
When asked a question about the team thus far and what their effort is, he makes a basic notion there. Oh, well, we can't run full speed all the time. Whereas me and you, Brandon, we run through a damn brick wall if we had the opportunity to just play special teams.
Absolutely. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. He's not wrong, but it's certain things that you don't say.
Right. There you go. You don't say, hey, I'm only going to give X amount of effort on this play. I'm only going to give X amount of effort, but I'm not going to go full tilt. And in that play with Odell Beckham, you can see some of the guys were looking for the sideline to help him. You were looking for some guys looking for someone out of the crowd to come help them to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish because they weren't locked in. And that's the problem I have, because your coach should have them locked in. Your coach is locking them on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we travel, but we locking in. We get in on Saturday. We go into the ballroom. We're going to watch some more film and lock in because this is our job.
Absolutely. Now, I want to touch in on X Woods and Darian for a little bit of time, but your safety position.
I think we got a lot what we wanted to see with Donovan Wilson getting on the field because a lot of people were clamoring for him.
Hey, I think I was his number one fan.
Well, you probably had to fight. You probably had to fight late night height, and maybe Foots the King and Joe Rod over at Cowboy. What is Joe Rod? I don't think he's vlogging the woods, but Joe Rod was big on them too. But
hey, shout out to all of those guys though. Shout out to all of them.
I say, yeah, shout out to all those guys. I think everybody wanted to see him. But what you did find out is, one, he'll come up and make a tackle. He's warmed up, but he missed some plays, but that comes with reps, and that's fine. But you couldn't have Darius out there anymore. You couldn't have him out there letting people run right across his face. You couldn't let him have a guy go out there and see Odell Beckham coming in your direction, and you not getting the mindset of, I'm going to cover him to be able to keep him from catching his pass, because he was damn near wide open. That's just uncalled for, and that's just unheard of. And
that may have been his last play in that game.
That
might have been his last play in that game. I have to go back and watch the film and really check on the next defensive drive, but I believe that was Darian Thompson's last play in that game. Now, for his credit, I honestly feel like Darian Thompson is a better run stopper than Donovan Wilson, but I do feel like Donovan is a much better coverer.
Yeah, I mean, they both had their strong sides, but if that run portion that you said that Donovan Wilson was, he came up and he made a couple plays here and there, but
absolutely,
the damage has already been done because the guy's already getting a chance to get a 5-7 yard run downhill on you by the time he gets there. So Xavier Woods can't talk about me playing hard when I see him get in the hole and get trucked.
Absolutely,
that's hard for me. Even as a Jaws, even though I'm thinking I'm giving the defense benefits out, I still got to get production when production needs to be had.
Yes, sir. I think that this is going to be a good change. I believe that it's going to be a permanent one. I think that I'm not going to say that Donovan is going to be a world beater. No, I'm not predicting that at all. I'm not predicting him to come out here and be a particular Texas-born safety. I'm not predicting him to be that guy.
Okay.
But I think that he is going to be an improvement over what we had in Darian Thompson. He may get thrown at a bit. He may have ups and downs. But I think as a whole, this is going to be a positive change as the season goes on.
Okay, I can see that as well. I'm not taking anything from it. I thought it was a good move coming in the next week. Donovan stays on the field. He starts doing this, that, and the other. And this is the kind of game where you can get your act together.
Yes.
Against the Giants. You can get real pretty and gussied up and really go handle your business in that situation for them. So yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, what do you think about the Browns being able to run so successfully on us?
What do I think? What do I think of the Browns, or what I think made them able to run so well?
Let's go with both.
Walking into the game, I wasn't afraid of the Browns. Walking into the game, I didn't give them much respect whatsoever. I thought they were a one-dimensional team, and I thought they were going to build it around, I just thought they were going to build it around Baker. They didn't. They flipped it midstream and said, "Hey, we're gonna send us around the running game and keep the time of possession low, score touchdowns, and go from there." It just so happened when they came to Dallas, they were doing so well, they kept on running and wouldn't stop running. I mean, because Dallas wasn't stopping them from running. I mean, when you rush the ball 40 times with Forrest Gump and two other guys you didn't know of and run the football down your throat, what do you expect?
That's true. We had an XFL guy come in and run on us.
Yeah, he got Nate, I'm not a smart man, but I know how to run a football. I mean, that's all he know how to do, man. Man. They looked like Hammer in 1991. They was doing running, man. They was doing everything. My family sat here, and if you're a fan of Franklin football, and if you're at this point in the video, hit the subscribe and like button, man, and check us out. My family sits and watches me go off at games that are terrible. And I just sat there. They thought something was really wrong because I just sat there and watched it because I couldn't imagine that I was watching real people playing a Madden game. Because you get 407 yards, you get 307 yards in Madden on 7-minute quarters. Right? 7-minute quarters, you get that. So I just I'm not trust the process. They don't trust, hey, if we do this, we'll get the results we want. And that's huge. That's just huge to me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think that it's one of those situations where you just really need the personnel on your defense to come in and just impose their will. You got your guys up front that'll get pushed back to the second level of the defense, and it'll throw your linebackers off their game because then they have to find new ways to do their job, and it's like dominoes falling down.
So since they're quote unquote being blown back now from the film I saw, I don't know if I was watching different film. I'm sorry if I'm rubbing my eyes, everybody.
Yeah, do your thing.
But what I saw was they were holding, looking for the football, and it led a lead path for either Joe Thomas or Jalen Smith to go make a play. And they decided to just go get blocked or grab hold of the Cowboy, their teammate, and hold them so they wouldn't have to go make a tackle. I didn't see a lot of want to tackle a lot of people these past couple weeks. Have you?
And that is a stark contrast to something that we had seen in Marinellaville. And that is, I'm not even sure how I feel saying that. But a couple years ago, I'd say 2018 and prior, you saw a lot of good tackling, man.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of good tackling.
What, arm tackling?
Hey, I think that
tackle box for a fish. What good tackling did you see?
You saw tackles by guys to save the game against the Saints, for example.
Okay, all right, but that was the GOAT. So you
no, that was Jordan Lewis. At the time, was my guy. I've since changed my opinion on him slightly.
You going cold?
That was Jordan.
Too, huh? Okay.
I'm not gonna say gone cold, but I don't think that he has lived up to the expectation that I set for him. That may be my fault for setting my expectations too high. I'm not sure. But the one thing about me is I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong.
Well, that's a good deal. But that was how I felt about the Browns situation. I've heard people say, "Oh, this guy's not an NFL guard." No, you just got your ass whipped.
Yeah.
You went to a fight. You thought you were gonna win. You were heavy overdog, and they came and they played and did what they had to do. So
that's right.
That's what makes sense to me.
That's right. Hey, I'm glad that we got past this one. I had a slight stomach ache this entire video just because it made me feel sick, made me feel ill. So I'm glad that we got past it and we can move on to this next stretch of games where I think that we'll be able to bounce back.
Okay. Well, I hope so because we need to. Because
absolutely,
I'm looking past a winnable division. I'm looking at getting into the playoffs and making some noise, and it's going to take that for our defense to get cool and go forward and be able to do that.
Absolutely. And you know what else it's going to take? It's going to take you, the viewer, to like this video, like, comment, and subscribe in order to keep us going. That's how we know that you like it. Because we can do this not on the camera anytime.
Right.
But we choose to put these opinions out into the atmosphere.
Let it resonate, let it permeate, let it resonate, let it abbreviate like my man from Norbit, and let it tap. We trying to power tap our way to a realization of why the Browns went for 307 on us, dog.
Man. But I can tell you one thing. I don't think that Devonta Freeman is going to be doing that next week.
Well, we'll get into that.
Absolutely. We're going to get into that very soon, post haste. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. This has been Frankly Football. I'm Brandon.
Hey, man, I'm setting off Chris, man.
Peace.
Peace.